I think the person who's just a fighter but says, oh yeah, fuck all that spiritual bullshit, I don't need to be that, I'm tough. Or the person's like, you don't ever need to fight, just see abundance in everything. I think both sides are bullshit.
You're very, I guess people label it as new age, and we want to label things to help us understand, but you're spiritual and you're new age, but you're also like a fucking warrior. And you do UFC. And I wouldn't be surprised if you said you've killed someone, right? If you're like, hey, I stabbed someone in the neck because he was fucking with me. And I'm like, yeah, I can see Aubrey doing that. So it's
I haven't. I haven't killed anybody.
I guess where's that balance, right? Because I think on one hand, I hear new age frou-frou people and I'm like, ugh, shut the fuck up. But you've kind of balanced that really interestingly with this kind of machismo, like, I'm also, self-assured and tough and a fighter, which almost seems opposite to this, kind of hippy-dippy lifestyle that I've seen of people who are like, get in your mind and let's meditate together.
Yeah, it is. And I think both sides are bullshit. I think the person who's just a fighter but says, oh yeah, fuck all that spiritual bullshit, I don't need to be that, I'm tough, Or the person's like, you don't ever need to fight, just see abundance in everything. Both sides are nonsense, right? And I think we used to have an understanding of that. There used to be the idea of the warrior poet. And this was a kind of a concept that I latched onto a long time ago. This idea that Socrates was the greatest thinker of all time, but you read reports of him in battle and he was one of the most ferocious warriors. Miyamoto Musashi, the greatest swordsman who ever lived, was also in his spare time, painting calligraphy and writing and meditating in his garden. And this idea of being a full, robust human experiencing both sides, I think that's our birthright. And I think all too often we get stuck in one side or the other. We see it in politics. You're liberal or conservative. Fucking neither. Like, why don't you choose a little bit of both? Why don't you just figure out what makes sense instead of just putting yourself in a single archetype, identifying with that archetype and just accepting, the basic structure that comes along with that label? What religion are you? Like, I don't fucking know. I have Christian beliefs, Buddhist beliefs, Muslim beliefs, all of these, everything. I take all of the best of what is there and I express that, and I think that's really the way to live the richest and the happiest, is to not abide by any of these labels, but see what makes sense and go full force for that.
One thing you were saying around that, how do you love yourself?
Yeah, well, you have to shed a lot of the conditioning and a lot of the conditioning you've received from parents in the world that is, we'll love you if you perform this way, if you get those good grades, if you behave like a good little boy or a good little girl, we'll love you then, right? Rather than we'll love you always. And here's some different paths that you can choose that will benefit or not. There's so much judgment and so much conditional love in our world, and that's just the nature of things. And so we internalize that. And so we love ourselves if. And that standard gets higher and higher and harder to achieve, especially as, we look at other people and fantasize that they're doing something perfect, that, this person is doing everything perfectly, this person, so I'm not that person, so I'm not worthy of love, because I'm not exceeding in the way that I should. So you internalize this, I should love myself if. And that's bullshit. You should love yourself always and then strive for the most that you can do. But love should be the default place that you live, because if you don't love yourself, then you won't feel like you deserve all of the things that you're trying to manifest. And if you don't feel like you deserve it, you're going to sabotage yourself. You're going to prevent yourself from achieving it. So self-love is just a massive cornerstone. And we all have to realize that none of us are perfect. We all fuck up. We're all going to make a billion mistakes. And that doesn't mean that we aren't worthy of love. We're all worthy of love. And we're all learning. And you have to start with that in order to make any meaningful progress.